Good morning. I am Shannon and I am excited to share with you our most recent Azure Standard haul. So we got a bunch of this stuff yesterday, and a lot of this stuff is staples that we order regularly from Azure now. So I wanted to share with you what they are because we love Azure. It's really changed our life for the better, meaning I don't have to go to the grocery store nearly as much, and we save a lot of money and get healthier products. So if you are new to my channel, I am a homeschooling mom of 3 little ones, 5, 3, and 1. And we do classical homeschooling, which I love. And I am also passionate about healthy living, finding ways to nourish my family with healthy foods, and finding ways to do that in an affordable and convenient way. Azure Standard, I'm pretty passionate about because that's checked all those boxes for our family. First, we loaded up on cheese yesterday. I've shared this before, but I love this raw cheddar cheese that I can get from Azure Standard. If you go to natural grocers or Whole Foods, you pay a ton more for this kind of cheese than you do from Azure Standard, and you can get it in bulk and save even more money. So I love that. And when you have the raw milk cheese instead of just normal pasteurized cheese, it has all those really good probiotics from the raw milk in there as well. And it just tastes a lot better in my opinion. So I got both the raw sharp cheddar and I also got raw medium cheddar for my kids. I personally love goat cheese. I got this raw milk goat cheddar. I also like their smoked cheddar. They didn't have that this time, so I like this too. But I loaded up on it because they last forever. Like the sell-by date for this is September 15th, 2025. So we go through cheese pretty quickly. So we'll definitely eat it by then. So I got cheese. I also got some more baking soda. I get baking powder from Azure too, but I didn't need it this time. I love it because I can get it in this bag and I just pour it in these jars that I have in my pantry. I'll link them below. I really like them, and then I don't have to buy a new container of baking soda every single time. I still need to label it because I washed it, but this is our baking soda. I also got this time, this is new for us, but we're excited about it, coffee. You might have seen in a past video that I made where we now use the Chemex. We do pour over coffee. We're big fans of that. We did use Keurigs before and just realized for multiple reasons that wasn't the best thing. So we now use the Chemex, which is so simple. It's really inexpensive. So you're not buying some fancy, big espresso maker for hundreds of dollars. It's like really cheap. I think we got ours for like $30 or something. We're excited to grind our own beans now. So we're going to source our coffee beans from Azure Standard because they have organic. They have several different kinds. So you can check that out. I'm actually drinking coffee in this. I shared this in my last video too, but in this next mug. I love this because it keeps it nice and hot. And as a busy mom, I don't get to drink my coffee right away. So I like that it keeps it hot and I don't have to microwave it. We also got rolled oats. So I get these all the time because we make oatmeal in the morning often. I also use them in baking things, baking snacks for my kids. So rolled oats. I got popcorn because my husband likes to make popcorn at night. I also got these sprouted quick oats because I like to use these in granola bars for my kids or peanut butter balls, sunflower butter balls we make a lot. My kids don't like the super chunky oats sometimes, so I like to use these. They're sprouted, so they're a little bit better, a little bit more digestible. I got chocolate chips because we're making some Christmas cookies. We need more chocolate chips. I got this big thing of Einkorn flour. So I use this in my sourdough starter. You can buy little bags of it at Whole Foods or natural grocers. A lot more expensive, a lot more affordable to buy a 10-pound bag. And I also make sourdough bread with it sometimes. I wanted to show you, I keep my starter in this glass container a lot. I love it because it closes, so it keeps it covered, but it's not airtight. So that's a good way to keep your starter on the counter. But I can also put it in the fridge like this. I like to bulk up my starter throughout the week so I have a lot on the weekends because As I've shared before, we like to make sourdough waffles. I'll usually make some sourdough bread on the weekend, so it's nice to have a lot of starter on hand. So I wanted to share that. I just pour some einkorn flour into this glass jar, keep it on the counter, and then it's really easy to feed my starter. And I feed it twice a day when it's on the counter because it's einkorn flour. So we got that. I didn't get this time, but I wanted to show you. I like getting honey from there. We've been using honey a decent amount more. I've been making biscuits and gravy sometimes to go with like a breakfast for dinner. I made sourdough cookies the other day and used them. I like using honey instead of sugar. I like to get local honey when I can, but sometimes it's harder to find. So I like this honey from Azure. I can get a big thing of it. Also, I didn't get this time either because we didn't need them, but I wanted to show you wheat berries. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to link below a podcast I just listened to that was so good by Sue Becker, who's kind of like the fountain of knowledge of freshly milled flour. But it's so good. And if you haven't been motivated yet to get a flour mill and grind your own flour, you might after listening to this. So it's just so much more nutritious to grind your own wheat berries and use flour that's freshly milled. So much more. So flour, I've learned, has 3 components: the germ, the bran, and the endosperm. So the bran's the outside part of the wheat berry, has a ton of nutrition. The bran and the germ are removed from flour that you buy at the store, like all-purpose flour, because that makes it last longer if it's just the endosperm part. But you're losing all that nutrition. What they did a long time ago when they figured out, oh, we've created this flour that lasts a lot longer, that's great, but people are getting sick because they're not getting nutrients that they need. They put synthetic vitamins and minerals in that flour. So if you look at flour from the store, you'll see certain synthetic vitamins that are put in it, but obviously that's not as good as the real deal. So you should check it out. Listen to that podcast. It's really good. But I get hard white wheat berries from Azure regularly because I make my sourdough bread and any other bread products with hard white wheat. You can also use hard red wheat. I haven't done that lately, but you can. And then I get soft white wheat for like biscuits, baked goods that don't require rising. And I also get einkorn and spelt wheat berries when I'm able to. Sometimes they don't have them, but when they do, I like to use them because they're ancient grains, so they have even more nutrition because they're less messed with over time. That is like one of my favorite reasons for Azure Standard are the wheat berries because I use them all the time. I mean, I make sourdough bread regularly. I make regular sandwich bread with yeast because my kids like it. Last night I made naan with wheat berries to go with a Greek meal. My husband makes cream of wheat. We make waffle. I mean, all kinds of things. So we use them all the time. This whole movement against eating grains and all that is so sad to me because when you learn more about the nutrition and how God created wheat and grains for us to eat, and He created them to have so much nutrition that we need, it's just a lot of that has been stripped of that nutrition and has caused other issues. So that's the problem, not the wheat. The way that we've messed with the wheat is the problem. So I just find all that fascinating. Also, I'm getting a lot of cleaning products from Azure Standard now. So for example, I got some of this dishwasher gel. I've been getting dish soap from them, dishwasher cleaner, hand soap even. It's an awesome source for cleaning products that don't have the stuff in it that you don't want to use that's toxic. Also, I didn't get this time either because we had it, but I love their butter. I've showed this before. This is obviously a staple ingredient that we use, and I cannot find this butter anywhere else. This is unsalted, cultured butter, super quality. And the last thing I'll talk about, I don't have it in front of me because they're in the freezer, but I don't want them to melt, is frozen fruit. So I've shared before in my other videos that I love making kefir smoothies in the morning and I put frozen fruit in them. So obviously right now it's December and it's really hard to find berries for an affordable price. And I like to put raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, those kind of berries in my smoothie in the morning, and my kids love them too. And they're obviously really nutritious. So you can get a huge bulk of those berries from Azure Standard frozen and they're just perfect to put in smoothies. So I hope this is helpful. Again, check out that podcast by Sue Becker. It was super enlightening to me to just learn more about the nutrition of freshly milled flour. I'll link some other resources below where you can kind of see more of what we've gotten from Azure Standard in the past and check that out. Please let me know if you have any questions. We're really passionate about sourcing a lot of our food now from Azure Standard. My hope is that we don't even need the grocery store, and already we need it significantly less. I usually just go if I need produce right now because we don't have a garden. I wish we did, and it's winter time. So to get produce like bananas and apples and things like that, I go to the store to get that. But most other things I get from other sources, like our meat I get from a local farmer, our eggs, our milk. And I love that because it's just so much better. And I love supporting those local farms too. Azure Standard is a really awesome company that supports smaller businesses that are producing healthier, organic food. And so they just have a really awesome vision and motto too. So you should check them out if you're not familiar with them. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful month of December.